I'm Dr. Aaron Harris, and in this video, we're talking about how you can manage your money like the 1%. If you're like most people, then you're just wishing that you can just make more money. But the truth is, it's not just about what you make, but what you do with what you make. The number one thing that the top 1% all have in common is that they bet on themselves. What this tells you is that the best thing that you can do with your resources and your finances is to bet on yourself financially. Betting on yourself means that you're investing in your knowledge, you're investing in your skills, and you're not afraid to take that leap of faith and invest in yourself and go after the dreams that you have. A lot of people come up to me and they ask me what they should invest in, and they're only making $20, $30, $40, $50, $60,000 a year. And what I tell them is the same thing, is that they should bet on themselves. Where if you're not making the income that you desire to make, or if you have not reached your income potential, then one of the best things that you can do is invest your money in something that will allow you to be able to generate and to make more money. Yes, you can put money into a stock market, or you can invest money in other places, in different individual stocks or real estate, but there's nothing like first investing in yourself to make sure that you get your full income potential. Then once you get your full income potential, it's time to turn around and start making those big investments to make your money grow exponentially. Another thing that they do is that they use their money to make more money. A middle class trap is going out and buying liabilities, buying things like expensive cars and expensive clothes, or even overbuying on an expensive home. So much so where you almost put yourself in a cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, even though you have a good amount of income or you're making decent income. But many people have a problem because the more money they make, then the more money they spend. But the rich, they realize that one of their purposes of money is not to go and buy things, buy liabilities, but instead they're always trying to figure out, how can I make my money make money for me? And so once you realize that one of the primary purposes of the income that you receive is to take that income and help your income to be able to generate more income for you, then what happens is your money is making money. And so when you realize that your money, one of the primary purposes of your money and your resources is to go and grow it and make more money and more resources, then that's a mindset shift, and that will change your perspective on money, resources, and finances. And that's why if you see people who are ultra rich, when they were first starting out their businesses, instead of pulling out of the money and the resources out of their businesses so that they can splurge on whatever they want, instead what they did was they reinvested those earnings back into their businesses so that the business could grow exponentially and so that they could have more resources. And so one thing that you have to do is you have to learn how to continually invest so that you can start benefiting from compound interest. And once your money starts making money and that money starts making money on top of that, and then you're just living off the residuals, that's when your money starts to grow exponentially and you're in a different place financially. Here's another big concept that we have to understand. You have to be willing to sacrifice the now for the later. Anyone who you see who is financially on top, at some point in time, they had a decision to make. They had to make the decision of, are they going to splurge now on what they have, or are they going to continue to grind and sacrifice in the present so that they can have a brighter future? If they would have spent all the money that they had in the present, believing in the concept of YOLO, you only live once, so just live it up, then what happens is they would have never gotten to the point that they're at today. In the same way, if you really want to grow your resources, your finances, and your income, you can't just live for today, but you have to also be thinking about tomorrow. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy yourself now, or you shouldn't get yourself anything nice, or you shouldn't do anything to celebrate. It just means that in perspective, your primary focus for your resources should be your future rather than your present. But if people are just focused on having fun for today, having resources for today, and only doing things for today, then when you get ahead in the future, your resources will not grow to the point that you want them to grow. So you have to be willing to make sacrifices. What also goes with this is hard work. When you look at the top 1%, at one point in time, they worked really, really hard. Many of them still work really, really hard today. Some of them were able to pump the brakes a little bit, but in order to break through to get to a point where they were really successful financially, what they had to do is work extremely hard. And so realize that this is not easy, but this is something that's going to be challenging for you, and it's going to be something that's going to take a whole lot of hard work. And one of the biggest things that separate people that are good from people that are great are people that love what they do. When you love what you do, it does not feel like you're working. It feels effortless. It's something that you enjoy, something you're passionate about. So the work, even though it's hard, it doesn't really feel like work, and you're able to get through those long hours. If you have two people doing something and one person just really, really loves what they're doing and the other person is just doing it to get paid or a paycheck, the person who really loves it most likely will excel and do better. The reason that they have a better chance at doing better is because they'll put more time into it, more energy into it, more effort into it. Why? Because it is connected with their purpose. In the same way, what you should do is you should find out how to love what it is that you're doing, or how to really, really enjoy it. And what happens is when your vocation meets your occupation, it becomes a vacation. And what that means is your vocation is your calling. When you feel like, oh, I was called to do this, I'm skilled in this, I'm gifted in that. When you start having this feeling of you're walking in your purpose, then it changes your mindset, and it changes how you show up at whatever it is that you do, whether it's your job, your career, whether it's your business. When you show up with a certain level of inspiration and intentionality. And so what I want you to do is be passionate about what it is that you do. What comes to my mind when I think about this is the love of the game clause that Michael Jordan had in his contract. When most people signed the NBA contract, they had something in there where they couldn't just go play basketball anywhere they wanted to all of the time. The reason they couldn't do this is because their bosses, the GMs, the owners, they did not want them to get hurt outside on a playground playing at the barbecue with their cousin. And so now the team loses out on millions of dollars of revenue because this player wanted to just go out and play basketball. So in a lot of people's contracts, they weren't able to go and play whenever they wanted to play. But Michael Jordan had a clause in his contract called the love of the game clause. And with that clause, what it allowed him to do was to play basketball anytime, anywhere, wherever he wanted, with whoever he wanted, because he just loved the game so much that he did not want to give up playing basketball. In the same way, when you love what you do, when you enjoy what you do, you'll want to do it even outside of your work hours, because it's something that you enjoy. And when you love it that much, it's something that you can excel at, something that you can be great at, and something where you can get compensated nice from. And so what I want this to do is just to encourage you to be passionate, to enjoy what you do, to bet on yourself, to manage your resources in a way where you're prioritizing the future even over the present. And those are some of the ways that you can start managing your money and resources, time and skills like the 1%. If you enjoyed this video, then watch the other videos on my channel, which are all about financial empowerment.